On episode 14 of the podcast, I'm going to talk about someone stopping an escalator, Santa's ruse, and 2019 goals. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Luke Who's Talking podcast with me, Luke, the last one ever for 2018. Yeah, did you think I was going to end the podcast? Nah, I've only done 14 episodes. Well, I've done 13. This is the 14th. Anyway, now let's get into the first story. Now, the first story I've got for you is it's an interesting one. Now, the other day, me and my mother were at the supermarket, and just to put it in a bit of perspective, the supermarket that we're at there's a car park under the bottom, and then the store is on top. So there is an escalator, or like a ramp escalator thing. Have you seen them before? It's an escalator, but it's smooth. It's like a ramp. So you can take your trolley down or up, depending on what way you're coming. There's also a lift there as well. There's also a regular elevator, but we're talking about the escalator ramp thing they have. So we were on there with our trolley, going down, and ahead of us there was two individuals, redneck bogans, right? I'm going to say that. And what one of them did, for some reason, who knows why, probably because they're a fool, is they hit the big red button at the bottom of the escalator that stops the escalator. It's like a kill switch. So I suppose if something goes wrong, boom, they can hit this button, escalator stops. So the guy did this. Like, why? Why? If you're out there, sir, listening, and you know who you are, send me an email, lukewho'stalkingpod@gmail.com, tweet me at @L_who'stalking, or send me a message on Facebook and explain to me why you stopped the escalator. Because you're an idiot. Absolute idiot. You, sir, are a fool. It's completely pointless. Why would you do it? And after he did it, he hit the thing, and he put his hands up in the air like, yeah, I'm the greatest. I'm the king of the world. Like, why? Like, what is the point of doing that? What is the point of you doing that at all? Completely ridiculous. Anyway, so we thought he was pretty awesome. So I was stuck halfway on the ramp escalator thing with a trolley. So, well, we then just pushed it down the rest of the way. But yeah, I was like, I don't know why this guy did this. It was completely useless, completely ridiculous and stupid. Stupid? Yeah, we'll say that. Completely, it was just a ridiculous thing to do. Like, why do it? Absolutely pointless. But anyway, this guy thought he was pretty awesome, so, whatever. Good on him. I hope he has a lousy Christmas. Sorry, I hope he had a lousy Christmas. Yeah, because this is coming out Friday. Spoiler, I'm recording this on Monday. So I hope he had a lousy Christmas. Now, Santa, or is his name Kris Kringle, or is his name St. Nick? How can we trust this guy? Seriously, what is his actual name? Does anybody know? Nobody knows. But yeah, Santa. Now, I have some questions for Santa, and we're going to go to the Ruse room, or the room of Ruse, because I can't use the term conspiracy because somebody I know has a podcast. They have it. Well, actually, go check out the Bandrew Says podcast because he pulls out the conspiracy corner, and I thought I need something like this. So I've got the Ruse room. So we're going to go into the Ruse room, and I have a ruse for you. I Googled, searched other terms for conspiracy, so we've got ruse, right? Anyway, so we've got the Ruse room. We're in it now. I'm in the Ruse room. Now, here's the thing. Does he steal gifts from other houses and re-gift them to others? Okay, so let's imagine Santa goes to a house where there is a heap of presents, far more gifts than what the children there need. So he goes to all the rich houses, to the elaborate parents. He goes to all their houses, grabs the gifts, and he leaves, he leaves enough there for the children that are in this house. So he has a surplus now of gifts. So what he does is he goes around the other houses and he swaps your gifts with somebody else, and he he re-gifts them and distributes the Christmas presents. What do you think about that? Because because let's think about this. How can Santa pay the elves? Okay, what's his supply chain? What are the finances of his factory to North Pole? Because he gifts for free, so he's got to have some sort of income. Okay, so maybe Santa in the off season is some sort of like drug cartel, type of guy. Maybe that might be how he makes his dough. But he has to make money so then he can, I assume, pay the elves or at least buy materials to make the gifts. I've got it. I figured it out. I figured out how Santa does it. Everybody? So when you have something and it mysteriously goes missing and it's lost forever and you don't know where it's gone, why it's gone, that's Santa and the elves. They're coming and taking our stuff. They're then recycling it and they're making toys. That's how they get the raw materials. What do you think about that? What a ruse. What a ruse. Santa or Kris Kringle or St. Nick is running. What an absolute ruse that is. What do you think about it? It seems legit. Got thoughts? Have you got any thoughts on this? And yes, I have gone insane. Merry Christmas. Well, 2018 is coming to a close. It'll be over next week is, I think, Monday. Tuesday is the first day for New Year. Yeah. So, what do you call it? Friday is the last day of Monday is the last day of 2018. I don't even know what's going on. 2019 goals. Do you have any? I've got a couple. I've written down here. Now, one of mine is continue career growth. Sounds very exciting, doesn't it? So this year I had a couple of opportunities in my current job to learn some new tasks and do some other things around the office. And that is something I would like to continue, or at least the jobs that I know how to do them on a more regular basis. So that is something that I would like to do in the new year. And so I think, hopefully, I hope to in the new year sometime in the first couple of weeks of it, the first month or so of it, have a talk with my boss about this and say, what do you reckon about this, Mick? And he'll be like, can't happen, or he'll go, yeah, it can. And I'll say, beautiful. Now, a second thing I've got here is to investigate the options of an idea I've got. I've got a business idea, and I would like to investigate the options of this idea becoming a tangible thing, of this becoming a actual legit business. Maybe it'd be quite interesting. I won't get into what the business is, but it's like it's something unusual, at least for where I live. This particular idea I have is something they have in Europe. I believe it's reasonably popular in Germany and in the Netherlands, I think. So to have something similar where I live, I think could be interesting. I do have some concerns about the logistics of it. However, I think exploring the possibilities of it could be interesting. So I would at least like to explore the possibilities of my idea becoming reality. And if you want to invest in it, throw us a bone. Now, speaking of investing, something else I would like to do is keep track of my finances. Now, somebody out there, I mentioned him earlier, Bandry from the Bandry Says podcast, when I first mentioned this on his Discord server in the voice chat, and I then started looking at graphs and budget spreadsheets and whatever, he wanted to see them. He's like, show me this spreadsheet, show me it now. So I showed him some options, and he was very excited by that indeed. And lastly, something else that I would like to do in the new year is grow the podcast. And, listener, that is something you can help me with. So if you listen to the podcast, if you like the podcast, even if you don't like the podcast, share it, rate it, like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. And that will help me grow the podcast. I will be honest, I am not a huge fan of when I watch a video or something on YouTube or listen to a podcast for that matter. when I hear the host say, "Oh, yeah, like, comment, subscribe, or share, it really helps the podcast," I don't really subscribe to that. However, I'm a hypocrite, and I'm now asking you to do that for me, so we can have some growth, and more people can hear me talk about really boring stories that have no impact on them whatsoever. And now, what are your goals? Do you have any goals for 2019? Let me know. Email me, send me a tweet, get in contact on the Facebooks, or if you know me personally, just say, "This is my goal." And even, I might read some out on the next podcast if I get any. I might not. Who knows? Well, that is it for this episode of the podcast. If you liked it, as I said, like, comment, subscribe if you want to. Now, you can send me a tweet on Twitter at @L_who's talking. You can email us, Luke who's talking pod@gmail.com, or you can get on Facebook, facebook.com/Luke who's talking. I think that's what it is. Or just search up Luke who's talking. Anyway, now, before I go, I hope everybody had a good and safe Christmas, and I hope you have a good and safe New Year and a prosperous New Year as well. And something else I'll just mention quickly before I left. In the last episode, I think it was, I mentioned that I bought some stuff off of Amazon. I got a Behringer interface. It is here. It is plugged in. I have used it on this podcast. So if you think the podcast sounds better, let me know. If you think it sounds worse, let me know. If you think it sounds average, let me know. I don't really know what I'm doing with the what do you call it? The interface. I'm just a cowboy operator, really. So if you have any feedback of the sound quality of the podcast, please let me know. Now, I will say that I have not put the pop filter on. I'm not using that. I'm just using the standard windscreen that is on the microphone. I did buy a pop filter. I'm turning away when I say pop. So if you think I should be using that, let me know, and I will look into things for the next for the next episode. I'll catch you then. Bye.